Greetings, it's Will from stormthecastle.com, and this is the Cardboard Castle YouTube channel, and all about making things, and particularly with cardboard and paper. And in this video, we are going to make something called an Inro and Netsuke. It is a 17th century container of sorts to hold things. It can hold tobacco or pencils and paper and pens and coins or anything else. And it's derived from, you see here in the picture here, a kimono from the 17th century with a belt. And kimonos didn't have pockets, so they needed some kind of a container to hold their various things in, kind of like a pocket. So they had this object called an Inro and Netsuke, and the Inro is the large container that you held things in, and the Netsuke is a counterweight on the other end of a pair of strings. In our case, it'll be shoelaces. And you would suspend that over your belt. So let's take a look at the an illustration of the parts and what we're going to make in this tutorial. So there are 4 parts to it, and we're going to make all 4 parts. There is the slide lock, which holds it tight, the Inro cap, and the Netsuke. So let's take a look at a couple that I have made and how they work. This one's just in plain gold. I painted that one plain gold. And this one I put cherry blossoms on it, which is kind of very symbolic of Japan. There's the lock, the Netsuke, the Inro, and the cap. And you would slide the lock to either lock it or unlock it, so you can open it and put things in or take things out. You would slide that lock back down. And it's all cardboard, and 2 straws. Then you hang it on your belt. So the tools and materials we're going to use, about a square, 1.5 square feet of corrugated cardboard. The template, or if you have the book, the pop-out parts are in the book. The template has the parts you can print up. There are 8 parts in total. Interesting thing about this project is I'm going to show you clever technique for making beautiful curves with corrugated cardboard. So you're going to need something to cut your cardboard with. Age appropriate, of course. Could be a specialized cutter, that orange handle there. A hobby knife, scissors. You're going to cut cardboard and paper. And some kind of an adhesive. Also age appropriate. Could be PVA, white PVA glue. Or if you're older and you're able to use a glue gun, you can use that. I also use glue stick in this project. You're going to need 2 straws that total a minimum of 15 inches. And a sharpened pencil. And of course a shoelace that is at least 72 inches long. If you don't have a shoelace that long, you can tie together multiple ones, or you can use twine or thread. And if you're going to paint this project, I recommend you start out with white paint as a primer. I'll show you more. And you need something as a counterweight inside the Netsuke. I'm going to use clay. It goes right inside there. I'm going to use children's dough. But you can use almost anything to add some weight to it. So one gluing tip I have for you here is, if you're going to be using some kind of a liquid glue, to keep everything crisp and clean without wrinkling the paper or the cardboard, you should spread it out thinly and evenly with a paintbrush. It will make a big difference in how it looks in the end. So let's start with the Inro, the big part. And you're going to like this. This is pretty clever. Cut out part 1, or pop it out from the book And we're going to glue it to cardboard, but notice the direction of the corrugations. That's rather important in all these pieces. It makes a big difference in the strength and whether or not you can bend it, curve it. So put it this way. And if you have glue stick, that's the best way to do this. There will be no wrinkling whatsoever with your paper. So glue stick it down or glue it down. And go ahead and cut it out. Hey, you've made your first part. Now take part 2. This is 6 inches by 8 inches. Pop it out of your book or cut it out of the template and use it as a template to cut cardboard, being careful of the corrugations. The short length, 6 inches, is parallel to the corrugations. Now this is a rather large piece, so it's going to take a little bit of work here depending on your cardboard, but peel off the top layer, one layer of craft paper. You'll notice with the smaller pieces it's really easy to do, but with a large piece like this, 6 inches by 8 inches, it's going to take a little bit of time. Use a pencil to pull away a little bit. You fit the pencil in there and you can run the pencil in the, watch this, you run the pencil in the corrugation, separate a little bit, and then run the pencil in the corrugation like this, and it will separate nicely. Different boxes use different adhesives. It's not even an adhesive, it's a starch. So sometimes it's really easy, sometimes it's a little bit tricky. But take your time and do the whole thing. And that craft paper, we're going to need that. So set that aside. We'll be using it shortly. If you have a couple of little rips in it, that's okay. Now on the end of your piece too, remove about a ½ inch of the corrugations. So the only thing left is a sheet of craft paper. I'll show you right here. There you go. Isn't that nice? And the reason why we do this is for adhering the edges together, and it will look really smooth and really neat. So you take your part 1, flip it over so your template is down, and then glue part 2 all the way around it. Now don't glue it down onto it, glue it around the edge of it like this, with the corrugations on the inside. And if you need some time for your glue to set, you can use tape. I'll show you. Or you can use a rubber band to hold it while the glue is setting. Just a little bit of tape is all you need. But doesn't that look good? See that? Easy enough to curve cardboard. Now take the piece that you had set aside, roll it up like this, and insert it into your Inro. And have it extend out the end about 1 inch. You're going to glue it in. See, just about like that. Looks good. Okay, so we've made the Inro. Now let's make the Inro cap. And we're going to follow the same process. Take part number 3. Cut it out of your template or pop it out. And part number 4. Lay them on cardboard, being cautious and be aware of the direction of the corrugations. Glue down part number 3. Don't glue down part number 4. Use it as a template to cut out, to measure out, and then cut out with the cardboard. So there we go, 3 and 4. So we're going to do the same thing with the lid here, the cap, that we did with the Inro. Remove the top layer of craft paper, and you're going to see this one's a lot easier to do. You're going to get good at it, and it's going to have a nice snapping feel to it. You'll be able to snap it off each one of those corrugations. It causes a little click. Then flip over your part 3, and on one edge you had removed about a ½ inch of the corrugation, so it'll make a nice seal like that, and glue it in place. Doesn't that look good? So now before the glue dries, test it. Try it on, make sure it fits, because while the glue is still setting, you can adjust it a little bit, open it up a little bit, so it has a nice fit like this. And if you're having trouble, you can pinch the corrugations a little bit. It gives it a little bit of room so you can slide the cap onto the Inro. There we go. So now on the sides of both of those parts, measure and cut straws and glue them in like this. These straws will be 6 inches. And the straws on the cap will be 1.5 inches. And line them up nicely, because your shoelace is going to go through one straw and then through the smaller straw. Okay, now let's make the Netsuke. Very similar process. Notice the direction of the corrugations. Cut out part 5 and glue it down. And part 6. But you glue down part 5, you don't glue down part 6, just like we've done previously. This part 6, we use it as a template to measure out a piece that we will cut from the cardboard. There you go, 5 and 6. And now we're going to do the same thing we've done twice already. You're probably getting pretty good at it now. We'll do the same thing again. But first, pierce a hole with your sharpened pencil through the center. The shoestring will go through that hole. And flip it over. Oops, we have to first, of course, just like we did, remove the top layer of craft paper from the corrugated cardboard, and you'll see how easy this goes. As the pieces get smaller, they get easier to remove the paper. Cut away about 1/2 inch of corrugations on one side. And then glue it around part 5 with the corrugations inward. So you trim that as needed, so it makes a nice smooth circle all the way around. Look, here we go. Looks good. Now part 7. Part 7 is actually a little bit larger. It's not the same size as the previous part we did, part 5. It's a cover for the Netsuke. Glue it down to cardboard and cut it out. And pierce a hole in the center with a sharpened pencil. Very good, but don't glue that on yet. It will go on top, but don't glue it in yet. So now our shoelace, 72 inches long or longer, folded in half like this, so each half is the same length. Both halves are the same length. And tie a knot in it. There you go. I think that's called an overhand knot. It's very simple to do. And then feed your two ends through the straw, starting with the Inro. Looks good. We're doing great. Nice and even. Now we feed it through the lid. Now we're going to feed it through our Netsuke from the bottom like this. Both of those ends. And the Netsuke is a counterweight. So we want to make something or put something in there that has some weight to it. I'm going to roll up and curl up some dough and slide it in there. Now, ideally, you want the shoelaces to actually still slide smoothly as you need them to make any adjustments. So you don't want to bind it. That's why I've curled up the clay like that around it, so it'll the shoelaces will still move freely as needed. Then feed them through the cap. Now you can glue it down and finish off that Netsuke. Tie another overhand knot. And we're just about done here. One little thing left to do. We want to make the slide lock. The ojime. Ojime? I don't know how to pronounce that. Ojime? So that is the final part, part 8. Pop it out of your book or cut it out of the template and trace it onto cardboard, noting the direction of the corrugations. That's important. And then watch how fast and easy the cardboard, the top layer of craft paper snaps off here. It's easier than peeling an orange. And you can discard that craft paper, but you need this part here. Remove a ½ inch of corrugations, just like we've done. This is the 4th time we've done this process. where you cut a piece of cardboard, remove a layer of paper, and then cut a 1/2 inch on the end. So now you wrap it around both your shoelaces with the corrugations in. And it forms a beautiful little slide lock. And glue it or tape it in place. And allow the glue to dry before you slide it around. But there you go. So you lock it like this. That locks it. Everything's held tight. And then you slide it away so you can open up the lid and access whatever you've got inside your. There we go. That's it. You've built it. Some decorating tips here. Now you had those 4 either pop out or cutouts. You can decorate those if you'd like and glue them to your 4 parts of your Inro and Netsuke. You can glue them on first and then decorate them, or you can decorate them and then glue them on. And with this large part here, because of the straws, it won't fit exactly all the way around, so you could just cut it in half and use each half if you'd like. Me, I'm just going to paint mine. And if you're going to paint yours, be sure to first put down a nice thick coat of white paint that acts as a primer. It'll protect and preserve the cardboard. It'll also make your colors very vibrant and give it some pop. If you like making things with card, there we go. We're going to take a look at a couple of them that I made. If you like making things with cardboard, paper, I got paper games. I got paper and cardboard toys. Here, this one, I like that one with the cherry blossoms on it. Have fun. Decorate it any way you want to decorate it. But look through my playlist. Check out my videos. Hit that subscribe button. Really appreciate it. Give me a thumbs up. Thank you.